Everybody on this list. Everybody on this list. Who does Dan Campbell belong to? Marty Morningwig.
And he makes your balls feel good.
And we're coached by Dan Campbell, and we're going for it at our own 38, 39-yard line. You're damn right we are, because we like it. Claps a lot on the sideline. Motivates.
Maybe there isn't talent, but this is more than talent. This is football IQ.
Lions didn't play this week. And we're not going to do the meme, they lost to the bye week. We're not doing that.
That gets out every single bye week.
Probably one of the most annoying traditions that goes around the NFL that time of year for the Lions. But whether you think it's fair or not, in my opinion, the reality is this weekend is another example of how teams around the league are able to find ways to win football games consistently, and the Lions don't. And look, let's just start with the coaches that were hired during Dan Campbell's tenure, right? So guys that were hired the same offseason as Dan Campbell. Nick Sirianni. Now, let's take Nick Sirianni and Brandon Staley with a grain of salt.
Yeah, because they got different
Brandon
rosters.
Staley walked into Justin Herbert.
Right.
He has no excuses. We're going to push him to the side.
Yeah.
But Nick Sirianni, last I checked, Jalen Hurts was not a franchise quarterback when he walked in. There were a ton of question marks. And you know what Nick Sirianni has turned Jalen Hurts into? Looks like a franchise quarterback. Granted, the defense was better. Granted, there were a lot of pieces there. But you have to put things into perspective. Right. Sirianni showed up and shut people like me up who were like, hey, I don't know about Jalen Hurts. Oh, no. Jalen Hurts looks like the guy. He looks like a guy you can build your team around for the next 6, 7, 8, 10 years.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni did that, so I don't want to undermine him and not give him any credit for being 15-8 through 23 games. You look at Robert Saleh, poor start last season, flip of a switch, 4-2.
And Zach Wilson doesn't
3-0 on the road.
It's not like he's
Zach Wilson sucks. He doesn't even have a damn quarterback.
Right.
Zach Wilson, what, 10 of 18, 110 yards?
Yeah, he's a game manager.
Barely. If that.
Yeah.
Barely if that. Imagine they go on the road and beat the Packers without a passing touchdown. Think about that. You beat Aaron Rodgers on the road, and they hold Aaron Rodgers to 1 touchdown.
Yeah,
not bad.
Quinnen Williams. Oh my god.
Not bad. And then there's the Atlanta Falcons, who under Arthur Smith are 10-13 now. 10-13. The Atlanta Falcons.
I can't believe
were
that
a
still.
day one, quote, day one rebuild.
Complete
just like
rebuild.
the Detroit Lions. They're 3-3 right now. The Seahawks, who were in the Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud conversation, we all remember this? They're 3-3. They're 3-3. Are they 4-2? One of the two. I believe 3-3. The Seahawks.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though. They might be 4-2.
They're 3-3. You're correct.
Thank you.
In front of the Cardinals in the NFC West, which I would have never predicted.
So here are all these teams overachieving, and then we get to my favorite person, Mr. New York G-Man himself, Brian Dable. 5-1. 5-1 through his first 6 NFL games. You know how many times he's gone for it? On fourth down?
I got it right here. Not through the season, but this week. I'm assuming
zero this week.
Yeah, 0 this week.
4
in the season.
on the entire season.
Wow.
You know what he's on pace to do? He's on pace to go for it on fourth down 12 times over the next 24 games. Dan Campbell has gone for it 59 times in his first 22 career games.
Jesus.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's easy to hide behind the record and say, well, Adam, it was a rebuild. They're supposed to lose a lot of games. Okay. How you're losing, how he's coaching is more of a problem.
That's my issue.
And that's why I think people forget here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Dan Campbell if they're losing games close. The talent wasn't there.
Right.
Flip of a coin.
Right.
Just a bounce of a ball. You're losing because you have a head coach who sits at the table now 1-4, and more so than his record, his continuous questionable decisions, and his ability to make in-game decisions, along with clock management, you name it, game management overall, is horrendous. That's the problem with Dan. It's not even his record.
Bingo. It's not the roster.
It's not the roster. It's his decision making
Yep.
that has this conversation being a thing.
And it worries me.
Because if they were 2-3, it's a quiet bye week. We're going into Monday. Hey, Dallas is coming up. Here are the players you're getting back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But no, you're 1-4. And he continues to shoot your team in the foot. That's what he continues to do. Not so much the record. But you want to go back? Of everybody on this list, who does Dan Campbell belong to? Think about it. I told you Jim Harbaugh belongs to Urban Meyer, Dabo Swinney, Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley, Kirby Smart. Who does Dan Campbell belong to? Marty Morningwig. Congratulations. That's your company.
Yeah.
Kills me, Jeff.
It's crazy, too, because I just want to look back at the games. And between the Jets, Falcons, Giants, Steelers, and Seahawks combined, they were 1 for 2 on 4th down. That's 5 teams this week. All teams that were underdogs that won. And it's not even about the roster. I get it. The Lions defensively don't have... And the Falcons I'll leave out because the Falcons, I think, are the closest to the Lions. I think that's the fairest argument. But the decision-making. How can I trust Dan when this roster gets talent is my worry. It has nothing to do with, yes, the roster isn't good. How many players on this Lions defense would start on opposing teams? I'm with you. But look at the Falcons. How many players on that team would start on other teams defensively? Probably a handful. Just like the Lions. So it's tough. And I'm with you. I think it's more so his in-game management and his decision-making rather than, well, they don't have the roster the Jets do. Yeah, defensively, you may be correct. But I'm telling you right now, I watched the Jets on their 40-yard line, 4th and 1. They punt.
On the road?
Yeah.
Against Green Bay?
Wait, Adam, they're the underdog. They should go for it, right? They don't feel like they have a chance to win.
Jeff,
be aggressive.
Robert Saleh.
Be aggressive.
Well, Robert Saleh has that defense, Jeff, playing pretty well, right? So you can't use that example because they have a defense and Detroit doesn't. Little did I know Seattle even had a defense.
Yeah.
They held Kyler Murray.
The Falcons beat
and
the 49ers.
Falcons to, what, 9 points?
Yeah, the Falcons.
The Falcons beat the 49ers, only gave up, 14
and
points?
That defense, I'm telling you, man.
There's a new excuse every week. And here, it's in the chat to this day. Where is it? From Steve. Relax, Adam. Let's have this chat after next season. Or after the season, excuse me. I'm still on board with the 3rd season for Dan. Why? All of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat, all of you in the chat right now, tell me why. Give me one reason that is football related. Outside of, I think he deserves a 3rd year because Rome wasn't built in a day. It's the NFL.
Right.
The Giants were a rebuild. Brian Dable took over Daniel Jones. Guys, you know what? We're going to do this right now. I didn't want to bring this up. I really didn't. I have to do it now. You guys are really pissing me off. All right, guys, you ready? The New York Giants.
Oh, yeah, Captain.
You ready for this? All of you do realize, by the way, that the Giants don't have a franchise quarterback. They don't have any capable wide receivers. They were 31st in points scored and 31st in yards on offense last year. And on defense, they were 23rd in points allowed, 21st in yards allowed on defense. That was the Giants. That was a rebuild.
Yeah, abysmal.
No franchise quarterback.
Yep.
An average offensive line. Awful wide receivers. Saquon Barkley, Adam. Saquon Barkley. He's always hurt. Nobody even considered him as a luxury or a talent piece on the team, given his injury history. You go to the defensive side of the ball, Dory Jackson, right? You have Aziz.
Yeah.
You have Dexter Lawrence. You have Leonard Williams, who hasn't played, 2-3 games this year.
Thibodeau.
Kayvon Thibodeau, big strip sack over the weekend, by the way. All that, and that was a successful situation for Dable to walk in and make them 5-1. The Giants have no reason to be 5-1, but they are. Why? You want to tell me talent? Is talent the reason?
I think partly, but not completely.
How?
Because I do think the Lions, if you look at their defense, they are significantly less talented than all those teams. But coaching matters because
The
these guys
Giants
are
on offense are significantly
Yes.
less talented than the Lions.
That's where I was going to. They play above their. Like I think their best receiver, the
They
Giants,
just
had
beat
40 yards.
The Giants are the first NFC team ever in the history of the National Football League to beat Lamar Jackson. They did that yesterday. In a game where they were down and out the whole game.
Yeah.
They somehow found a way to win. They somehow found a way to force a turnover. They somehow found a way to capitalize on their red zone trips and put 7 on the board, unlike the Lions did the week prior against the New England Patriots. That's what the Giants did. And they're 5-1. And they're not even legitimate contenders. It blows my mind that they're 5-1. But why? Because Brian Daboll. And if you take Dan Campbell and you throw him in New York and you swap Daboll and you put him in Detroit, you know what the Lions are going into the bye probably? They're probably 3-2. And you know what the Giants are? They're probably 0-6. 1-5 at best.
And the argument, this is the argument that frustrates me, and I want to hear your opinion on it. Dan Campbell goes for it because he can't trust his defense. So, in my opinion, I'm just thinking out loud here. If you don't trust your defense, why are you going for it on your own 40, on your own 30, putting your defense in a compromised position? If you don't trust your defense, make the opposing quarterback, Bailey Zapp, for example, a rookie 4th rounder, go 80 yards on you. Why are you giving shorter fields to your terrible defense? That's my question. So a lot of things I'm concerned about. And I think coaching and in-game decision-making is one of those things for Dan. It has nothing to do, for me at least, with the talent. I accept they're not very talented defensively. But AG, he's not getting these guys in positions to succeed. I mean, that's what I've seen over the course of the last couple weeks. You could argue the Patriots, they bend, don't break defense. But when your coach is going for it on 4th and 9 when you're down 6, instead of taking the points and making it a 3-point game and changing the momentum of the game.
Thank you.
They go for it.
We're not talking about
Scoop
this.
and score 13-0 the entire game. The complexity of the game changes.
You're just not talking about this guy right now if he's coaching like a normal head coach would. I don't need somebody to reinvent the wheel. Play conventional football every once in a while. It won't hurt you.
All we ask.
Punt the football. Make them move 70, 80, 90 yards downfield. What a hard concept. No, we're the Detroit Lions, and we're coached by Dan Campbell, and we're going for it at our own 38, 39-yard line. You're damn right we are, because we like it. And you know what? That's all I really have for you on Dan. That's it. All I have for you this morning is you will continue to make excuses for this man, even though through 22 games he belongs to one person in Detroit Lions history. You know who that is? Marty Morningwig. That's what Dan Campbell is. Claps a lot on the sideline, motivates, rah,
I didn't see that.
gets everybody going. I didn't see, critical thinking.
Well, I didn't see that motivation against the Patriots. Apparently to TJ Lang.
That's a whole different problem.
I mean, Lang said they were completely disengaged on the sideline. So I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here, and I will not take or accept the injury excuse or the talent excuse. I won't. If Dan Campbell was playing the most fundamental football up until this point, and he made every decision correct, or at least for the most part, we could sit up here and at least argue, you know what? Maybe there isn't talent, but this is more than talent. This is football IQ. I mean, this is more than that.
Breaks my heart.
And I get it. He's a great guy.
Breaks my heart.
Like your famous saying, he makes your balls feel good. But got to win some football games, or at least put your team in position to win football games, like you had against Minnesota.
Funny as hell.
You're going for it all game. You don't decide to go for it in the biggest moment of the game.
And then there's dumb motherfuckers like Shad in the Woodward Sports chat. You know, we get these guys every once in a while. He said the Giants and Jets had money. That's a lie. Only the Jets did. The Giants did not. The Giants were handcuffed because of the Kenny Golladay money.
Yeah.
So do me a favor, just shut the hell up. Don't comment in my chat stupid stuff. Like, at least do your research if you're gonna come after me or Jeff. Do me a favor. Don't waste our time. What a goddamn idiot. Goddamn idiot. What a concept in the NFL. Playing above your level, overachieving, being ahead of schedule. What a goddamn concept. What the hell are you doing, Fish?
I am very confused.
You good, buddy?